What is going on, guys? It is your boy Cali Mac on the track. Never whack, bring it back, and we are here. Strawhat Sitdown, episode 19, baby. We out here. I actually got the episode number right today. No stutters or nothing. I'm a little happy about
that. Let's go.
only took 19 episodes, man.
Only took 19 episodes, but we finally there. And I'm gonna probably fuck it up tomorrow too, or next week. But we out here anyway. You feel me? I'm here with the Straw Hat crew as usual. You know, we got the gang. We got D3 in the building. What's going on, man?
What's good, y'all?
Yo. You got a Mr. G in the building. What's up?
What's good, everybody?
Yo. Straw Hat Mod, that boy in the building. What's up, man?
What's good, everyone?
And last but not least, of course, that boy YHuss. What's going on?
Yeah, it was good, man. I'm happy
yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are out here today. Chapter break. Golden Week in Japan, so Shonen Jump is paused, anime is all paused. I mean, so we don't have a chapter to give you guys today, or a chapter review to give you guys, but instead, my wonderful Straw Hat crew members decided to draw up a little something different for you guys today. We have a large pool of theories for One Piece, ranging from the plausible to the outlandish. And today we are gonna go over each one of these theories and rank it in a tier list. We're gonna go over each theory. We're gonna talk about it a little bit. You know what I mean? And then after we discuss it a little bit, we'll give it a rank from S to D. And we'll do it like that. Yeah. So I'm gonna let Straw Hat and YHuss handle it from here because they drew up the tier list. They did everything. I don't know nothing about theories, so I'm gonna be hearing this for the first time with a lot of y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
same.
Yeah,
this is how y'all get into it, man. This is how y'all get into it.
It's just like that. So yeah, let me know how we gonna do this.
I know like a 3.
All right, so thank you, Callie, for the intro, man. Actually super hyped to be, taking lead today. But so we'll just get right into it. So I guess we'll start like Strawhat said. We'll go through the tier list, and whichever picture is first up. So, Straw, if there's a theory that you want to talk about, please go ahead or just jump in any theory you want to. So let's just get right into it. So first off, I guess it's funny that one's first. So that picture right there, the Luffy with the Doflamingo sunglasses. What's funny about that is that it's actually a picture of a creator on Twitter and YouTube. It's a guy named Artur Library of Ohara. That's his profile picture, and I have his picture. I have his picture up there because this theory, it's actually 1 and 2, and he made this whole like hours and hours long playlist on YouTube that has his major theories about the show, and it's actually his theory about what One Piece is, and actually funnily enough about 1015, because we just watched episode 1015, it's his theory on what Luffy and Roger's secondary dream is that they trailed off and they never finished in that episode. So his theory posits, let me just look on the doc. His theory is it posits what that dream is and what exactly One Piece is. It's pretty far down on the doc, and I only have a few points about it.
What's it called?
You'll see his picture with Luffy and the Dolphin.
Yeah.
All I gotta do is literally.
It's called Luffy and Roger's second dream.
So I'll start with the dream. So the dream first off is that Luffy's and Roger's secondary dream is that he wants to have a party with the entire world and every race and everyone in it. So obviously that sounds stupid as hell, but if you remember when Luffy told Ace and Sabo, they laughed at him. They thought it was something childish, and I actually really like that point because it's something that has to be a bit wild and maybe on some clown shit. And that's why I really like that. It's I like, as much as I think that's a cute. It sounds dumb. It sounds dumb at first, but honestly, like it kind of has to be something that you would laugh at, right? Like because
also to jump in to also add on to that, not to necessarily say whether I support if that's actually if the theory is actually real or not, but to support that said theory, you also have to remember. Most likely what Roger and Luffy said, that where it was cut off to where we don't actually know what they said and everybody just looked at them like kind of weird or whatever. You got to remember, it couldn't be something like, I'm going to be the Pirate King. Because Luffy and Roger, or Luffy especially, has said that countless of times. Why would they need to bleep that out right there at those points?
Yeah, it is 100% something secondary. It's not like I'm gonna get to the end of the Grand Line or whatever. It's something secondary. It's something, and it almost seems like they're saying once, because I think Roger said once I get to Raftel, and then I will ... So something secondary, something that we don't know. And I think this is actually a pretty interesting point because, and if you look to the next point, the next subtitle down, Cali, is that it's the idea of One Piece has to be something that connects people together, right? So the second part of his theory is what One Piece actually is, and One Piece, in his opinion, is going to be bottles of sake or alcohol, and specifically the Binks is sake, the person Binks. So Binks sake is an important song these days, especially considering current events such as the drums of liberation that Zanisha mentioned, the increasingly important motif and ideal of the sun in One Piece. There's a line in Binks sake, it's something to the effects of beat the drums and the morning sun will rise. So something clearly is important. The Pirate King sang the song as they were heading to Raftel, and it's something clearly important to this degree. We don't know exactly what, but it's something important. And One Piece being something like sake is great for the theory because it means it's something to be shared, something to be enjoyed at said party that Luffy and them would have. That is his idea of what One Piece is.
And what to add on top of that as well, we also come to find out that like Oda actually loves the Bink Sake song. Like it's fair to say that that's like his most favorite song when it comes to like not even just One Piece but just like in general, because I think that song is crap, what do you say? I think it's a song that they normally play in like I don't remember what type of schools, but certain schools that's like a popular like musical song for people to sing along to and stuff. And I think that was a big part of his childhood or when he was younger. So it's highly probable that could potentially be the One Piece.
So it's a big theory of this guy Artur. He's a huge One Piece theorist and has done so much for the community. So that's his theory right there. There's probably a bit more that we're missing, but short notice. So let us know. D3, Cali, Mister. What do you guys think?
So I think that the party thing is mad cute. It made me smile.
He said it's mad cute.
It made me smile.
It's very Luffy. It's very
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense for like that to be a part of Luffy. I think that would be sick. I like that a lot.
And then like almost every arc they end in a party.
Yeah.
He's bringing joy to everywhere he stops by. So I like this theory a lot.
Cool. Now specifically, what about the One Piece being Binks' sake? And that's kind of the most outlandish part, I'd say.
I don't like
it's definitely
that.
a little bit more outlandish.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm not big on that one just because I have my own idea about what I think the One Piece is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the way we're supposed to grade it, I think it's like it's not necessarily whether you believe it or not, but does it sound solid enough to you to where the most solid are like S tier, like where it's like sure you may still disagree, but it sounds really really good and there could be some credence behind it. Whereas like the lowest letter, that's like that's just like not only is it trash, but like just get it out of here, like that's outlandish as fuck, like type thing.
Yeah.
So this is one theory together, right? Because I like the
we'll
theory
put it up
separate,
together.
and the Bink Sake is like a separate thing. But
the Bink Sake definitely ties brings the theory down a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
I think it has to be one theory, especially because the sake thing ties into it being a party.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. That's why it's like a thing. But go ahead and rank it. What do y'all feel?
Hey, B. I give it a B. Yeah, I like B. I like B for.
I agree.
Okay.
All right. Next one. This Blackbeard picture.
Let me go to the tier list. Oh, the Blackbeard picture. Oh, this is one of the bottom ones towards the end. We don't have any writing about it, but Shad, that's the stealing method. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So I'll cover this one. So, this theory is basically, I think it's called like the Blackbeard absorption theory. So, as everyone knows, he has 2 devil fruits. One of the things, though, is that we don't know how he got Whitebeard's devil fruit. Obviously, he put the coat up. His team put the coat up. He did something. Boom, he got the devil fruit. This theory, the idea behind it is that Blackbeard, he not only knew previously, like way before what's his name, Thatch, before Thatch actually got the fruit, how to claim devil fruits from bodies of people. Also knows how to implement them straight into whatever he wants, including his own body for a secondary fruit, or just to know how to properly steal a devil fruit to where it's not like, because, in the One Piece world, technically we don't know fully how a devil fruit is transmitted. We do have that scene where in Punk Hazard after what is that thing's name again? Smiley? Yeah. Or yeah, Smiley. When it was destroyed, it got its essence transferred into an apple. But we still don't know if it transferred into an apple because of the fact that the original devil fruit was an apple, or if it was because it was the closest fruit nearby Smiley, so therefore it transferred into that fruit, taking on possibly potentially a completely different form. This theory is that Blackbeard, he killed Thatch, and the thing is Thatch, the theory is that Thatch already ate the devil fruit, but before Blackbeard killed him. And the reason why is because when you actually see the animated clip of Blackbeard like killing Thatch, not explicitly, of course, like it didn't actually like show him stabbing him or whatever, but the theory points out that if Blackbeard, because probably most people believe this, if Blackbeard actually had like took the devil fruit instead of absorbing it or taking it from Thatch's body, why didn't we see the devil fruit after Blackbeard killed Thatch? And that, it seems pretty suspicious. So the idea is that Blackbeard actually tested out his theory through Thatch and killed him and had a fruit that resembled the original fruit, and its essence got transferred into that, and then he ate the fruit. Whereas like most people believe that like Thatch did not eat the fruit, but he had already did eat it, and then he killed him right there. Also at Marineford, when Blackbeard appeared and then he did his thing, his crew killed Whitebeard and stuff like that. The devil fruit, crap, what was it again? The devil fruit, it had two let's see. Oh, okay. So the devil fruit, it had two no, not the devil fruit, but his devil fruit, he might have had fruits, you know how he absorbs and can absorb different objects and stuff into his body and then spew them out. He had devil fruits, and the reason why the black curtain was upon him was because he had a bunch of devil fruits that he pulled out and then randomly, tried to see if it fit which devil fruit it had to fit the essence, because he had a bunch of them, and eventually it got to one of them, and then it transformed into its original form because the fruit that he had, or one of the fruits he had, resembled the original form. Then he ate it, and that's how he actually obtained two devil fruits.
Okay, so the theory is that he just basically went with what happened on Punk Hazard for Smiley when the Smiley died, and then the salamander fruit went into the fruit in the cart of the apples. So he basically did that shit on a grander scale, in not only for Thatcher, not only for the Yami Yami Nomi, but for the Whitebeard's fruit. So that's the theory in its sum. So what do you guys think about that?
So I have one question. I need you guys to not laugh at me. Who is Thatch?
Thatch is the guy on.
He's the white. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He's the.
I
tried to. He's the commander. The commander that died.
Bro, I wouldn't have laughed if you didn't ask me not to laugh.
Right. I don't think I would until.
Yeah, it's just the nigga that originally
He's
got
like
the
the chef looking dude, right?
You remember in he was the guy that got killed by Blackbeard that Ace went to go find Blackbeard for.
You
like to get
don't really need
revenge.
to remember. You don't even need to
Oh, it
remember
was
what
the
he looked
guy
like.
that was the guy that found the Yami
Yeah,
Yami.
he had the
Okay. I see.
Yeah, so the theory is because you guys remember on Punk Hazard, when the thing died, the nigga put a bag of apples and the devil fruit. When he died, it became one of those apples in the bag. So the theory is that he did the same thing under the tarp in Marineford and when he killed Thatch, because the person guessed that Thatch had already eaten the devil fruit. That's the part of the theory as well. So what do you guys think about that idea?
I like that, honestly. I think that'll make a lot of sense for Blackbeard as a character.
Yeah, I feel like it's solid.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's the best lead we have, to be honest.
Obviously, you're right.
That's
So
true.
I'll
So
fuck with it.
now that I'm thinking about like that scene, like we didn't see like a fruit on the ground eaten or anything like that. Like, so that would make a lot of sense.
Oh, lie, bro. I'm still a little confused.
Oh, on what exactly?
So what part of it is confusing?
The bag of apples part is
So in Punk Hazard, remember that big ass salamander thing, the slime?
That Caesar made, right?
No.
It's not really. I'm not gonna lie.
You can just say no, bro. It's all good.
Punk Hazard is distant memory. I'm not.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. So, but do you remember the gas cloud that everyone was running from that turned people to
Yeah.
So before that, so it was originally and like in some like animal thing that what's his name Caesar had, but he basically had a bunch of poison and he used the method that we've seen Vegapunk use. Remember the elephant with the sword or whatever, Frank Fried or whatever it's just called. He made the poison eat a devil fruit, which is the salamander fruit. So it was walking around on Punk Hazard, and then Caesar killed that thing to make it release the poison gas. And once he killed it, the devil fruit had to go away because it died, right? So, the Punk Hazard, one of the like scrub ass members, he purposefully threw a bag of apples on a cart near it, and once the thing died, the scene goes back to the bag of apples, and you see one of the apples become a devil fruit, specifically the salamander fruit. So
wait, that ass? I don't even remember this shit. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. I remember.
Yeah,
I only remember it a few years ago.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, that's the only way we've seen devil fruit to be reincarnated or replaced in the cycle or whatever. So that's all the theory is that Blackbeard had this knowledge and had a bunch of fruits ready to see whichever one got transferred Whitebeard's essence or whatever, the Whitebeard's fruits, and then he was ready just to eat that one instantly under the target.
Right, and then on top of that, the reason why you didn't see him have fruits in the first place was because he used his Yami Yami no Mi to have a bunch of fruits at the ready. Because you remember when he fought Ace, he absorbed a bunch. So he's basically like Caribou in the sense that like he can take a bunch of things and then spew them out. He probably spewed out a bunch of fruits.
I see. That's cool.
Jujutsu Kaisen, storing weapons in the shadow realm.
Yeah, and I understand. So this isn't a theory of how he can maintain two devil fruits.
No,
this is just the method behind him.
There are some theories about that. Don't worry, they're coming up.
Okay. All right,
so this one, it's pretty simple, honestly.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, I like that there.
I kind of give it I say an A.
I agree.
I think it's a pretty.
Go with that.
Yeah, I could go there.
All right, cool. Let's try to speed by these ones that aren't too big.
Okay.
I'll just whichever one is. So the next one, this is one of my favorites, bro. Okay, so this is the one. It's near the top. It's like the second one. You just see the Jolly Roger. Okay, so this one is a theory by my man, a dude named 333ville, a very sick YouTuber coming up. So as you guys can see by the name of the on the dock, it's Blackbeard has an octopus mythical zone model Kraken. Now that sounds crazy at first, right? And also this wasn't after the 1044 or whatever. This was way before this, so it wasn't like a knee-jerk reaction to Luffy having a mythical zone, right?
Yeah.
So it was well before. So he wasn't like on a bandwagon or nothing. It was a really great theory. So if you look at the skull, the Jolly Roger itself, there's 3 skulls and the bones make 8 protrusions coming out, right? So octopuses have 3 hearts. I didn't know that. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Did not know that. Wow.
None of y'all knew that? Okay, my buddy was telling me it's a fucking fact everyone knew. I'm making him listen to this. Anyway, so octopus have 3 hearts and 8 tentacles. That's obviously a connection right there in between the flag. Yeah. Everyone, of course, knew that one. So it's in the name. So Blackbeard, we remember on versus the Roger and Whitebeard in the because we owed a flashback when their crews fought for 3 days. Shanks was talking about Buggy how Blackbeard hadn't slept for 3 days during that battle. So they were like, "Oh, what's with that?" During Drum Island, when Luffy and Sanji are climbing up to the castle to save Nami, Luffy mentions to Sanji, he's like, "By the way, did you know people from snowy countries don't sleep?" And I think he says something stupid about them dying if they didn't. And Sanji's like, "Bro, what are you talking about?" You know, he's like, "Oh, someone in a bar told me that," and that someone in a bar, according to what the last part of the theory, might have been Shanks talking about someone like Blackbeard, right? So that's another part. And another thing that the reason why this is important is that octopuses don't really sleep that much. They sleep in very small, unnoticeable bursts, sometimes less than a minute. I think it's 30 to 40 seconds, something like that. That's another connection between octopuses and Blackbeard not having to sleep. So, and the one another important thing I think is that I didn't even realize is that so as I mentioned snowy countries, obviously snowy countries are in the north, shout out to Canada, in that when during Fishman Island, Hody Jones says about remember that Kraken Surume that helped Luffy at some point? That motherfucker, Hody Jones said about him, he's like, "Why are you betraying me? I went to the northernmost reaches of the world to find you, someone like you." So octopuses in One Piece are from the north, which is interesting, specifically Krakens. And Blackbeard might have been from a snowy country since he doesn't sleep. The last important bit is that octopuses have the ability to alter their RNA/DNA. That's just a fact that goes on the theory. And this point has a bit of things to explain. Vegapunk and the mad scientist group, Judge, Queen, and Vegapunk. If you look at all their work, let's go to Judge for example. There's a picture of Yonji talking to Sanji, and he's telling Sanji about how Judge and Vegapunk found the way, or specifically Vegapunk found the way to alter bloodline element, lineage factor, or DNA. They're all the same word for the same thing. He found a way to alter the bloodline element, which is what Judge was using to create clones and was editing his own children's DNA within their mom's womb, right? That's how he was making those super soldiers. That was Judge. Queen's bioweapons, they attack your bloodline element DNA or whatever. That's exactly what they do. They attack your DNA specifically to super fuck you up. And that's another reason why those mad science groups were clearly working on bloodline element. Lastly, Vegapunk. We learned in this raid that Momonosuke's Devil Fruit was created using Kaido's lineage factor / DNA. We know that Vegapunk himself was messing with DNA in human cells. If you guys remember when Frankie was on during the time skip when he was on Vegapunk's lab, he saw that Vegapunk was working on human cells. So we now know that devil fruits and DNA are clearly linked with the lineage factor or whatever. So if octopus have the ability to alter their RNA/DNA, maybe that's an ability of the mythical zone to alter your DNA in order to make yourself able to eat more devil fruits. So yeah, all in all, those are a few connections that make this guy think Blackbeard has an octopus mythical zone. I don't know. I remember if I missed any, try let me know. But
there is one thing. So also to add on top of to that theory, if you actually go back and see the chapter that Blackbeard ate Whitebeard's devil fruit, and they were like, "How is that possible?" And Marco was saying like his body is different or whatever, right? If you look right next to him, the one of the pirates, he had an octopus hat. So right next to that could have been a hint of foreshadowing.
Oh,
yeah,
I think
I think on a cover page or two, like it's the same thing. So yeah, like those kind of
Yeah.
little like
interesting.
connections. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is so what do you guys think?
So I've always been a big fan of the Cerberus theory.
Yeah,
Right.
same. I was just about to mention that.
We'll bring that one up too. Don't worry.
Yeah, but the fact I didn't know about the protrusions because I've been drawing a few Jolly Rogers lately. So you know the fact that this one has 8 protrusions, that's just no mere coincidence, bro.
That's
So,
mad interesting.
Really, that got you, and not the sleeping or the DNA.
No, I mean all that does suck, but I mean like their Jolly Roger always represents something for for the captain of that crew.
Yeah.
So like it's a big part of them. Like I've been watching a show called Our Flag Means Death, and every pirate crew has to have a Jolly Roger of renown, and that that symbolizes them all together. So but then everything else that you bring up, the no sleep, uh, man. I think I like him more than the Cerberus theory now, to be honest with you.
I'm glad to hear
That's
that.
just- that's just
I'm
me,
glad
though.
we changed your mind.
I like that.
OD.
I like that. Yeah. I definitely know about the Cerberus one. I think I've heard of octopus once or twice, but definitely makes a lot more sense. The DNA shit is interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know
It
about the
is.
RNA thing from octopuses.
I didn't know that either. Shit, aren't they seen as like known as like aliens or some shit like that? Like they're very they're and they camouflage with everything. Damn, I like
And
the
they
theory.
don't,
they're
really have like. I mean, I think they do have a skeleton, but it's like it's so like
Like
flexible.
fluid? Yeah.
They can get into anything, even like
Yeah.
real small places, because of how like lack of a large skeleton they have. So it's
But they look
yeah,
huge, which is crazy, and that would make
yeah.
sense with Blackbeard being as big as he is and all that shit. And then this motherfucker popping up everywhere because his fucking
Yeah.
shit.
Also,
Yeah.
also the reason actually this may tie into the Cerberus theory as well, but both theories talk about how this is a mythical Zoan,
Yeah.
and we all know that Blackbeard's Yami Yami is weird for being a Logia because he can still get damaged. Some people may say, or most people attribute that to, that's just Blackbeard's durability, the fact that he can well, you would have to have good durability in order to take 2 times the pain that you normally would if you didn't have the devil fruit. You normally wouldn't if you didn't have the devil fruit, but he still takes it. But the fact that he's still getting hit, even though Logias they don't get hit, could mean that that's actually a mythical Zoan that
True.
he's dealing with as well.
You know what just hit me though? The shadow fruit also looks like ink. Ink with octopus and all that shit. Like
Yo,
you sold me. You sold me. You sold me. You sold me.
D3, what you think, bro?
I think it's mad cool. It makes a lot more sense than um the Cerberus theory. The Cerberus theory makes
yeah,
sense,
It
but
does make sense.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
not
I
saying
think
anything.
the Kraken fruit makes a lot more sense, and it kind of like puts different things in perspective for me about Blackbeard as a character. It just kind of makes me excited to see like more of in game One Piece.
Also in like pirate mythology, Blackbeard at one point controlled the Kraken.
The Kraken.
So
Yeah.
like and the Kraken being a
Interesting thing.
big
Wait, ain't no way. Wait, really?
facts. Yes.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
shit!
And you also have the fact that like one of the big adversaries for all pirates in general is the Kraken.
Is the
So
Kraken. Yeah, that's one of the
like that.
greatest mysteries, the mythical
Ooh,
legends of the deep.
S
The
tier,
Kraken.
S tier. I'm
Yo,
putting
that's
this on.
fucking
Yeah, that's S tier.
ridiculous.
This S tier
Oh
for me.
yeah, hell yeah.
So
Let's
yeah,
That's
I
go.
think we
ridiculous.
definitely got our first S tier.
I'm glad. I'm a huge fan of this theory and a huge fan
Yeah,
of this
no,
theory
that
too.
theory is actually ridiculous. Definitely
Yeah.
S tier for sure.
Next up, we got the Scrub-ass Cerberus theory. No, I'm playing.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Whoa.
whoa.
I don't have much to say about it. Maybe if you guys know more, I don't really know too much about it.
I mean, we got the Cerberus theory, and I'm everyone here knows what it is. But does
Yeah.
someone want to go through it? There, just in case someone in the audience don't know.
So it's honestly a lot similar to the other one, right? How a big
Yeah.
part of both theories is the rule of three. People say about that. Oda loves to do like three admirals, the three supernova, like Luffy, Kid, and Law, stuff
3
like that.
unique devil fruits, 3
Exactly.
hotkeys, all that other stuff. And in this case, 3 heads,
Yeah.
3 skulls. It is pretty much similar to the Kraken theory. It's just a different mythical Zoan. The reason why there's some that people feel like there's some credence behind this one is because, like YHuss said, the 3's everything, but there has also been shown that the Cerberus is actually real one in One Piece, because if you remember in Thriller Bark, Nami, Zop, and someone else, maybe Chopper or
Walker,
someone
I think.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were getting chased around by a Cerberus.
Yeah, there's the picture on the dock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the judge from what is it called? Yeah, Ennie's Lobby had 3 heads.
Yeah.
True.
So that could have also been foreshadowing for a Cerberus, but mostly it's similar. So we can probably go ahead and rank this one. What do y'all think?
So when D3, go ahead. You go first.
I was just gonna say I think it's like just a solid B tier theory. I don't think there's a lot to it. It's just kind of.
I think there's actually more to it, right? This because I really like the Cerberus theory. I'm into Greek mythology. Cerberus, whenever they move on the underworld, they create earthquakes, right? They're already in the underworld. That's with the hell shadows that Blackbeard has, and shadows also could be like the darkness could be seen as a portal to the underworld. Then also, why did he want Ace's devil fruit so badly? Because the Cerberus also has fire. It's always spewing out fire and shit on all 3 heads. So that's another reason why, like, I thought it was for like a long time, I could have sworn that that he would have the Cerberus fruit. That's why it would explain why he's able to have the other two fruits, and we know that he had the Cerberus fruit beforehand. Also, Cerberus is also known as the guard dog of hell. What is Luffy now? The sun god, sun and darkness. That you know. So and also Luffy looks like a Greek god. There we go again, bringing up the whole Oda bringing in Greek mythology and
He was using lightning.
like
He was using
that.
lightning too. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't
Yeah.
think about that.
He definitely
So
has the Apollo / Hermes type of
and then with Zeus in the last one, and also Cerberus has the rings around their eyes in certain interpretations of Cerberus, which Luffy has and also Emu has, and it could lead into like tying into everything with Emu later on, but I think it's deeper than what it is. But that's just me though.
Yeah, and those are all solid things. Personally, I would put it in like A for me, because if let's say if we don't feel like it's as good as the Kraken one, right? I don't think it's like it has the same core, like the same core as the Kraken one, just not as like just certain details are different. So
Yeah.
for me, it's either somewhat close or like A tier.
Yeah, I think it's a bit better than B. But just a bit.
I personally would put it into S tier too, but I'm cool.
I definitely think it's still B tier. I think it's still sleep, but I will take my minority vote. Put it in A tier.
Okay, wait, let's compromise because I still think it's a B tier. I'm not gonna lie. So let's put it at the top of B tier.
Top of B tier?
dude.
Yeah,
We don't got
I
rank.
still think it's B tier.
I
I ain't
do think
gonna
it's a bit
lie.
of a B tier.
I feel like a lot of what y'all was
I
saying
think
was like a little bit of a reach. I'm not gonna count.
Because I feel like A right there, like A is something that has evidence and credence about the the method about stealing devil fruits, and that's all the method we know. So it makes sense that Blackbeard did that, right? So it's pretty solid, really. It's something we could just extrapolate. I feel like B is a bit more like theory,
Yeah.
Next up on the tier list is
Oh
my
I
goodness,
got this one.
one's cursed. This one's
I got
cursed.
I got this one.
Oh,
I got
boy.
this one.
Oh,
I got
man.
this one. This is for me. This is for me. This is for me.
All
right. So, yep, yes.
Cursed, bro. It's cursed. It's cursed.
All right. So,
yeah.
what? How mind blown would you be if I told you that Crocodile is potentially at one point a woman, and not just any woman, but potentially Luffy's mom?
Oh no! Okay,
It's so bad.
Oh,
It's so
no
cursed,
way.
bro. It's so
What?
cursed. It's so
The
cursed.
Luffy mob thing destroyed me. The woman thing, I had a feeling, right? Because
I think the woman thing is just facts. I think the woman thing is just facts.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this is okay. You got it, Strawhat.
All right, go ahead, Strawhat. I'm
Yeah.
on board. I'm on board.
Yeah. So
I'm not on
One,
board. I need to hear this. I'm sorry. Go
I'm
ahead.
saying,
please.
saying,
Go ahead.
like,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's such a reach to me. I'm
Yeah,
just
this
like,
is crazy. Go ahead.
But it's
No,
fun.
go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
Okay.
sorry, please.
So this theory definitely came into credence. Around the time that Impel Down was the arc at the time, because Ivankov wanted Crocodile to help them out, and Crocodile had no necessary motives to help them out. And Ivankov, in order to force Crocodile's hand, said that you don't want me to tell everybody about your secret, do you? And Crocodile was shocked and was like, you wouldn't dare. And Ivankov was like, basically, don't try me. I will tell people. So that was to keep Crocodile in line and to force him to help. What now? When this happened, the community was in an uproar to figure out what this secret was, and what secret is it that he doesn't want no one to know, anyone, but it's something unique that only Ivankov, out of all people, know. The only thing that can help people put two and two together is the possibility that Crocodile was at one point a woman, and Ivankov turned her into a man because Ivankov has the ability to do so.
Yes.
So that's where that comes in with the whole idea that Crocodile was a woman. And then on top of that, to add to it to being Luffy's mother, is because, well, one, Crocodile, it was enough to make him help Luffy throughout the entirety of the Marineford arc when Crocodile went to go kill Whitebeard and Luffy jumped into the way, and Crocodile was like, why are you helping Whitebeard and stuff? And Luffy was like, stop it. I care about him because Ace cares about him and stuff. Normally Crocodile is a pretty vengeful guy. So like he will fuck up anyone that gets in his way. And he did that to anyone else that got in his way at the war. Mm-hmm. When Luffy did it, he didn't get revenge. He didn't like say like, what the fuck, I'm gonna attack you now, like, or anything like that. And in fact, later on down the line, he risked his life to save Luffy from Akainu too. On top of that,
that's true.
And also risked his life when they brought the bridges up, or not the bridge, but the
Gates of Justice.
The Gates of Justice. When they brought those up and Luffy skyrocketed over the Gates of Justice, Crocodile got over there to help him out and everything. So that's what. And also on top of that, the fact, I think it's also too because of the potential fact that Crocodile got black hair, Luffy got black hair, and other things. And also, if you think back to when Crocodile was fighting Luffy, it kind of felt like a schooling lesson to some people because of the fact that Crocodile, he was telling Luffy about the dangers of the world and the fact that
like teaching him as they're fighting.
Yeah. So that's how some people interpret it. So that's a theory. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I just want to amend one thing. I think that interpretation at the end is like kind of shaky because he fucking stabbed him, and two, like.
Yeah.
I think that another bigger thing for people was that when it's revealed that Luffy's dragon's son, like I don't know if I don't want to like say it in case I'm wrong, but I feel like I remember there being like a panel of Crocodile being like, "Whoa!" Obviously, everyone's surprised and shit. But and then later on in the end of the war, he saves particularly Jinbei and Luffy from a Akainu at the end. He's like, "If you want to protect something, do it right." So that's like a huge step in that he really didn't have to do. Like at the end of the day, they got to Marineford, they did everything Ivankov wanted them to do. And if Crocodile didn't save them there, Ivankov wouldn't have been like, "Yo, what the fuck's wrong with you? Why'd you sell out there?" It would have been an understandable fuck up. It's Akainu, right? So he risked his life to do that anyway and still save Luffy. So that's the big thing for people. Not like, I feel like assuming he knew during Impel Down before that is kind of like shaky. But after Dragon, that's all I'm saying. He saved him. So now, what do you guys think?
No. No, just like I can understand Crocodile being a woman. That's fine. But the reasoning that he's his mom, she's his mom because she saved him, like that's kind of goofy. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like that's not it. I think that doesn't make sense to me personally. Like I feel like it's just one of those things where Luffy inspired Crocodile to be like, "Damn, this nigga ain't as bad as I thought, let me help him out." I don't think it's like, "Oh, it's my son, I gotta save him." So it's like that's gotta be like F tier for me. Like, that's not it.
Okay, wait, the theory in total though, like both those combined, right?
The woman thing is still pretty outlandish. I guess you could make somewhat of a merit for it.
I had a feeling with the
still think it's a little outlandish, but
yeah,
I guess it's plausible. But yeah, the mom thing is just ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So the mom thing brings the whole thing down a lot.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
A lot.
I actually agree. I definitely agree.
I don't think that's Luffy's mom either. But we had to have something
iconic. It's too iconic.
Yeah, it's too iconic. It's an iconic community theory. Just because, like, I don't even think a lot of the community even still believes that to this day. That was like such a big thing back in the day that's like a big meme now.
Yeah.
So we had to throw it in here.
But I will say though, like there must be a reason as to why if Crocodile was a woman, as to why they changed to be like, are they trying to run away from something or
sure.
what? Like we don't know. So
yeah, we know his ideas about like being betrayed and like you can't trust anyone. So that's an interesting thing. But yeah, we just don't know. But yeah, for the woman thing, I think it's a very plausible. I actually kind of low-key believe it. I can really see it being true. Yeah, but the Crocodile model definitely brings it down. Since it's tied together, what rank are we giving it, man? C or D?
Oh yeah, no, I think it's
I
like
give
a
it
C.
C. Yeah, I'm
We
at the
go
bottom
C.
of the bottom, but yeah,
All right, fair enough,
it's
fair
pretty
enough.
bad.
All right, cool.
Low key, if we could try and run through these a little bit quicker,
Yeah,
'cause
I'm
we
saying,
Oh
definitely only
yeah,
got through like
agree.
5 in an hour, and we
oh
got a
yeah,
lot of them to
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Okay, so there is. Let's just go to the one Cali, the fourth one on yours, the Elbaf. Well, it's like a coastline right there. Yeah, that one.
Alama's
Oh,
Dome, yeah.
yeah, so that one is pretty middle. It's like middle through the document. There's like 4 pictures for it. So if we look at those, so it's just a treasure tree atom on Elbaf, I think. Yeah, just keep going. Yeah, right there. So if you look at these pictures, right? So this first one right here is the underneath. It's Fishman Island. Actually, it's underneath the Sabo Archipelago, and you see those white and black cylinders like coming down, right? Those are actually the roots of the treasure. Is the sunlight tree Eve? That's how Fishman Island gets its sunlight. The roots absorb sunlight from above and come all the way down to the bottom of the sea. That's how they get their sunlight. That's one of the two big the even atom trees that have both been mentioned. The atom tree is the how Frankie got the wood material for the
Yeah.
Thousand Sunny, and Tom got it for the Goro Jackson or Oro Jackson for Roger's ship. So we know that's how the roots look for the Sunlight Tree Eve. The next picture is the coastline of Elbaf, and it's during Big Mom's flashback. In the background you see something very similar coming up, I guess going up, right? On the island, which looks similar to those roots, and then keep going down, Callie. And so these next 2 pictures is another picture of the coastline, and in this actual picture from the anime is what Frankie, like when he was talking about the atom tree, when he's talking about the wood to get for the ship, that was what the picture was showing. So this tree that looks similarly to this big ass tree here shown on Elbaf. So basically, you are saying that this treasure tree atom is on Elbaf based on these 2 pictures. So what do you guys think? I think it's a pretty simple theory.
And pretty solid in my opinion.
I like it. Pretty cool. I don't know. I feel indifferent about it. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a crazy theory. It's pretty simple and it makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's like a solid B tier theory. I mean, I have no argument against it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mister.
I agree. I would put it on B as well.
Cool. Callie, next up, let's go to the one you see the 5th one on your screen.
Emo?
Yeah. So this one is like pretty high up, I feel like, on the list. Maybe like oh yeah, it's like 4th. So Joy Boy being a giant, what's with the huge hat and Marijwa? So Mod, if you want to get into any of these, please just let me know. So if you look at the promise that Joy Boy had on Fishman Island to the previous Poseidon, and the Poseidon I believe is born every like few hundreds of years, right? The last Poseidon was a minute ago, and Joy Boy it was actually I think I messed up the date. Oh no, I didn't mention. Okay, good. So the last Poseidon was from 800 years ago or so, but the Void Century was like 900 years ago, or something to that effect. So basically, the points from where we knew Joy Boy existed to this apology to the original to the last Poseidon, that had a huge long span, longer than a regular human lifespan. I feel like in One Piece at least, because we see old people at like 70 and 80. Anyway, so it's like more. I feel like it was more than 100 years. A pretty long lifespan for someone to be active and doing their thing. That's how we know Joy Boy was active at least for that long. So the date between the apology and the Void Century is indicative of him having a longer lifespan. One thing we know people who have longer lifespans is giants. Giants live to be like 300 or something like that. So that could be a factor that plays into him potentially being a giant. The second point is that allies of the ancient kingdom are all different races. The Shandians had a road poneglyph. Fishman, there was a road poneglyph on Fishman Island before it disappeared. The Minks have a road poneglyph, right? Shandians don't have a road poneglyph. Excuse me, they have a regular poneglyph. That one, funnily enough, talks about Poseidon under the sea. So that's another link between Fishman and the Shandians. So we know that the ancient kingdoms have the races that are supposed to help them are different races and not humans specifically. They're all different races. Lastly, there's a giant hat in Marijwa. It looks like it's been frozen or like some sort of cryo chamber or something like that, and it's been there for a long time, and it's huge if you like compare it to Emu's body. So people think based on this theory that this is Joy Boy's hat and he was a giant. That's basically the whole theory. What do you guys think of that?
I
I
mean,
think that would be pretty cool, honestly.
yeah, and it kind of makes sense because if you look at Luffy's form right now, he doesn't have his hat on.
Yeah.
You know, so like that could be the hat that he's supposed to wear at when he's in Gear 5 or in that big giant form. So and it being frozen, like it makes sense. I like
Yeah,
I
I
like this
think
one.
it's cool.
I
Yeah, I
think
think
it's
it's
going to sleep. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
Dang.
Yeah.
I hear the connections, but I feel like it's not like as concrete as some of the other theories
I
that I've
agree. I
heard
agree.
today.
that's fair.
So,
Where do you think you're putting it, Callie?
I say B.
B? Oh, okay.
B.
That's pretty high. That's high. I thought you would. All right, bet. I like that. That's good.
Okay, that's
Like
cool.
I think it's there, but I just don't think it's as concrete as. But I think it's like on the same tier as the rest of the B's.
D3, Mr. What you guys think? You agree?
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm
I
cool with
agree.
B.
Cool, beautiful.
Where we going next?
Wait, did we
next-
go? Wait, what was the next one on the
document?
picture? Yeah.
The next one is Shanks being evil.
Okay, got it.
That Callie's bottom left for you.
This I want to talk about a certain pirate. Okay.
Cool. You want to go over that, Sean?
You can move like that? I didn't know.
I could if you want.
I didn't know if there was much for me to say about it, but
Oh, I thought you. I thought it. That's why.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the idea of Shanks being evil, because that's my favorite character. That's like a crazy thing to me. But I don't know. I felt like it's very like self-explanatory.
Yeah.
You know what
So
I mean?
I'll just go over the points real quick, right? So,
Yeah.
So the first thing that I think brings Shanks into question is being able to meet with the Gorosei, right? At the beginning of Wano, he just came through, and they're like, we let you through because it's you, man. But what do you like? What do you want, nigga? And he was like, I want to talk to you guys about something. There's something he wants only the Gorosei to hear, right? And it's a certain pirate. We'll get into that part later. The next thing I think brings Shanks into question is that he stole the Nika fruit, which obviously we now know to be, one of the craziest fruits ever. Joy Boy's fruit, maybe, potentially, probably. So that brings him into question into what exactly he was doing with that if he didn't eat it, because that's who wouldn't want that power, right?
What was his plans? Yeah.
What was he doing? What was he doing with that fruit exactly, right? To steal from the government and then just have it in East Blue and be careless enough around a kid to just have it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you have a fruit like that, you have it under lock and key. You put Ben Beckman on top of it, right? Like you don't put anyone else, right? So he was being careless, and I don't think Shanks is a careless guy. So being able, so the next one is Marineford when he saw Kaido. Oh, obviously I don't want to say this is like why he's evil. I just think this is why he's suspicious. Okay, by the way. So next one is why he was able to just. So when he came to Marineford and everyone was saying, "Oh, he scuffled with Kaido," bro. There's no way you look at his crew and tell me he fought Kaido like 2 days ago, bro. When Big Mom and Kaido fought on Wano, they were both bandaged for like 2 weeks, right? Like the next day they were fucked up. So Yonko scrapping is not some small shit, right? What were you gonna say, Mr.?
Not even just that, but even with the most recent episode of One Piece, they give you that time when
Kaido's right there, and they see the day
Shanks
Ice
didn't
died.
stop us. And he was just chilling, no battle damage, nothing.
He called it an interruption, right?
Yeah,
so it's not even
exactly.
something big for him. So they definitely didn't fight. But what possibly could Shanks have said to fucking Kaido in a moment where Whitebeard might have and did die? One of his biggest, his dog, he's on Rock's crew, right?
Yeah.
Kaido has clearly been chasing, a glorious death and wanting to be there at the same time as Whitebeard. Kaido gave up on that, and we don't know why. But without even scrapping, that's crazy, So that's an interesting thing right there. Next is that at the end of Marineford, Sengoku recognizing Shanks is like, as some sort of respect, and that's why he's gonna end the war. He's like, you know what, because it's you, say less. Well, this war's over. I think that's kind of interesting. It could just be respecting, of course, though, right? And lastly, the 5 elders. Once Shanks met with them at the beginning of Wano, suddenly the Gorosei have a vested interest in getting rid of Luffy because of the Nika no Mi. So obviously this is me pointing towards the fact that the certain pirate, in my opinion, could have been Luffy, because, and it sounds crazy, of course, but look at what happened afterwards. They're suddenly going hard for Luffy to get specifically the Nika no Mi, not just the Merkin because he hit a Celestial Dragon or anything. That's what happened on Sabaody. No, they're really going after him here in the middle of this battle, right? When Kaido probably would have just killed him anyway. So, and I think the most important part of this is that everyone thinks, okay, it's probably Blackbeard he's talking about. But man, we saw him talking to Whitebeard about Blackbeard chapter 300. Why would Oda keep this certain pirate under wraps for 150 plus chapters just for it to be Blackbeard again? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
To me, I agree.
Like it's the same thing was with the other theory about why if it was simply Luffy or Roger saying be the king of the pirates. We heard Luffy a bunch of times say king of the pirates. Why would that be bleeped out at that point?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's the whole theory.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Well, I personally been been on this for a minute, so yeah, I like it. I mean, I don't think he's evil, but he definitely has his agenda and playing the game. But
I'm 50-50 on him actually being evil. I mean, it definitely could make sense on paper, but
mhm.
I don't think that it's like a lot of these could be. I don't think a lot of these points that would support him being evil could also, like Mister said, support him having a separate agenda from
100%.
either faction. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And
I wouldn't necessarily say evil.
yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah, exactly. Real quick though, I also feel like because of him stopping Kaido, shows that in a way he was kind of trying to help the government because Whitebeard's crew was already doing work against the government. You know what I mean? If Kaido's crew came, it would have been over. Like,
Facts.
so
But
Yeah.
what rank y'all think?
See,
say A.
personally, I would put it like B or A.
I say,
Yeah, I think
Somewhere
it's
around
between A
there for
tier.
me too. Like,
Yeah, I agree. I put him like bottom of it.
Okay.
All right, cool.
You get it?
Let
Next
me
one.
think of a shot. Is any one that you want to like talk about? Please just go
oh,
right
the
ahead.
yeah,
The
Kuina.
Kuina one? Okay, Callie, it's like the sixth
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Six?
this one would
Kuina.
be a more shocking theory to
It's
those that may not have heard it.
towards the middle, bottom, I think. It's a different shirt. It's that one right there. Go up. That one right there.
Is it?
Kuina might not have died. There you go.
Okay, so yeah, the theory is that Kuina may not have died and she might be still alive. So, and
real quick, who's Kuina?
My goodness, brother.
I cannot think.
Zoro's friend, childhood friend that he made a
Okay.
promise to with the Wano Ichimonji.
Bye. All right.
Yeah, that died. Said that
That was worse. That was worse than Thatch, bro.
Whatever, bro. Keep judging.
I will. I definitely will. But anyway,
All right, so the theory goes like this. Basically, we all know since someone here didn't know that was who Kuina was,
name, bro. Damn.
and then, no, I didn't play.
Shit.
I'm joking with you. I'm joking. I'm messing with you. But but in all seriousness, as a reminder, when Zoro was younger and Kuina, she was telling Zoro that one day you will be stronger than me because you're a man and I'm a woman. On top of that, Kuina, she was older than Zoro at the time, right? Now, the thing is, we all believe that she died because they said that she died officially. So, why do people believe that Kuina may be still alive then? So, one of the main reasons why, is because when you see the montage of Zoro training to beat Kuina, you notice in the background in one of those montages that there's a Revolutionary Army ship. And who in the Revolutionary Army could be relevant to what Kuina is talking about being stronger as a man and stuff? That would be, drumroll please, Ivankov.
Yeah.
So Ivankov could have potentially went to Zoro's island or close by, and the reason why that could make sense is because one, during around that time frame, remember Kuina's older than Zoro. She wasn't the same age as him. Sabo was being saved by the revolutionaries. So around that time, it makes sense. It could make sense that was around the same time period from when they saved Sabo, that they could have potentially got to Kuina's island.
Yeah, that picture on the document it proves. It's hard to tell in the middle text, but this says like it's someone saying, "Why would you keep me waiting?" But the translation is, "Why would you keep me waiting?" It's like Ivankov's accent. So Ivankov was definitely on the island because that's like when they the ship's at the dojo. That's when because they said the dojo gave them food and sustenance, so they definitely were there. And in the top left of this panel of this whole page, you can actually see Zoro training with a rock, doing like press ups or like squats.
Exactly. So
they're definitely there.
Yeah. So the theory
Okay.
yeah, exactly. So the theory is that like Ivankov found Kuina or Kuina found Ivankov. Ivankov found out about what Kuina dreams for, to be the world's strongest swordsman or to be a strong swordsman without dealing with the barriers of her being a woman.
Bro.
So Ivankov could have turned her into a man. Either that or simply take her off the island, because her destiny was to play second fiddle to whoever was going to be the leader of the dojo, because her father told her that basically you're not a man, so you won't have the strength to lead the dojo and you won't be the strongest forever.
Pretty sick. Yeah, it's pretty sick, actually.
And lastly, I think another important thing to remember is that the village is the Shimotsuki village. The guy, the teacher, and Kuina, and I mean, we even see it in the chapter where Zoro fights King, is that the Shimotsuki Kozaburo, the old dude, is from Wano, and that Kuina is his granddaughter, so she is from the legendary Shimotsuki clan in Wano. So that's one thing people were hyped for, potentially in Wano. Obviously, it hasn't happened so far, or it might not ever happen, but that's another connection to later on.
Wait, they did say her grandfather built the dojo.
Yeah.
Right?
It's called Shimotsuki Village.
It's crazy.
So and this this theory came about way before we ever got to Wano. So people believed that because Wano is going to be obviously the country of swordsmen and stuff, that we will either see Kuina at Wano, or Kuina is working as the swordsman for revolutionaries. Yeah.
Pretty
So
sick.
that's basically the theory in the nutshell.
I like this one. This is actually
I like this one a lot.
Yeah, I remember me and Shah were talking about it yesterday. Yeah, me and Shah were talking about it yesterday, and he told me that Kuina might not have died. I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here. But then he gave me that. I was like, yo, this is OD. I'm a big fan of it. So
yeah.
What do you think we should place it?
I think either A or S, because I feel like that's one that I could genuinely see happening, like in the show.
Us the proof, yo. I'm not gonna lie. That
yeah, you kind of did.
Zoro squatting, and you see the ship there. That shit got me, bro.
I like it a lot. I don't like it as much as the Kraken theory. That's the only reason why I don't want to put it in S tier. You feel me?
I think it's A2 because it's like
I think it's top A.
It's suggestions. You know what I'm saying? Like that she was there and they could have met, right? Like and there's no connection. Like even the crocodile woman thing makes more sense, honestly. Like because we know Ivankov knows something about crocodile, but this thing is like, she might have met her, But I do think it's a great theory though.
Real quick, what if Queen is actually Mihawk? Gender changed and everything.
All right.
You're a little out there.
Why would Mihawk take Zoro in as a pupil?
Brother.
Bro, that's worse than the cockle. That's worse than the cockle ball theory.
Callie's like, you're sick, bro. You're sick.
Let me look at what Callie has in the thing. What's up, DT? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I don't know if we get all through these today, but I at least want to see the Sabo theory.
It's not too much, but yeah, I was actually gonna bring that up maybe next or second. So yeah, Callie, the Sabo one, right in the dead middle. And it's for this one, I believe it's like kind of later down in the thing. I want to say, I think it's further down. Yeah, it's further down. It's on page 8. It's on page 8. Yeah, there you go. So this theory is what happened to Sabo during or after the Reverie, right? So in the Reverie, we know that Sabo and the revolutionaries had a plan to do two things actually. So one was to declare war on the Celestial Dragons, and two was to rescue Kuma. And so what actually happened, we don't really know. We actually know though that it doesn't really matter, but we know that they fought the admirals, actually the commanders. We know that they fought Fujitora and Ryokugyu, the new admiral. Yeah. But the facts that we know of this theory is that, so first off, there was an assassination in Marie-Joie. Someone died. Okay, and Morgan said this. There's actually also another murder attempt. Someone else was attempted to be killed. We don't know who that is. The next thing is that, so we see bad news concerning Alabasta, according to what Garp was telling the Neptunians, not the Neptunians, sorry, the people from Fishman Island, the Neptune and his kids. They're saying, something happened to Alabasta, but don't let it paint the picture for you for what all humans are. So someone got smoked, right? Sabo being in some terrible news story, like we also know Sabo's in somehow. When you look at the news, Sabo is like in it. I don't think Sabo is like dead or anything. I don't think they're saying he's dead, because even though there was the panel of the what's the Dadon, the bandit lady that they're basically their foster mom, she was saying, but we only just knew he was alive again. I don't think that means he's dead. I just think it means like he did some crazy shit, or maybe he's captured or some shit. I don't think that's the case either. But either way, some crazy shit happened to him. And if you guys remember in the beginning of the Reverie, this motherfucker, Vivi's dad, bro, this guy's crazy. He wanted to meet the Gorosei. He wanted to have a private audience with the Gorosei to talk about, I think, the Poneglyphs or something like that. and that's like a death sentence. I feel like if you bring up too much crazy shit to the Gorosei. So I think that, and they talk about how the Gorosei mentioned how he's a bloodline traitor, or not a bloodline traitor, but a traitor because Alabasta is one of the kingdoms in the beginning of the Void Century. They didn't go underground, and they didn't. So there's always these 20 kingdoms or whatever that went underground. He isn't one of them. The Alabasta's not one of them. So the Gorosei do not fuck with
Alabasta.
Vivi and Alabasta and Vivi's dad. So they have reason to murk him. And the idea goes that they pin this murder on Sabo, according to, they fuck with the news and shit, and they say this criminal Sabo, the revolutionaries, murdered Vivi's dad, and it's taking place, and it's basically they're giving him the credit for what they did, basically.
Basically,
so I really don't think if there's more, I can't really remember too much.
That makes a lot of sense.
What do you guys think of that?
Realistically, because like,
oh yeah,
that's the only thing that makes sense from like the Reverie standpoint, like everything going down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've heard this one before.
Yeah, I think it's a good theory. Like honestly, I'd probably put it
I say A tier.
Yeah, I think it's an A tier theory.
8 tier.
You good with that?
Yep. Let me see. What do we have left? Oh, let's just go ahead and get through the whole dragon stuff. YHuss.
Wait, I my shit got smoked. I feel like I was finished the theory. Did you guys hear the whole theory? Like my headphones got smoked. I couldn't hear what you guys were saying.
Yeah.
Oh, I was saying, you want to just get through the dragon stuff real quick?
Sure. Which one is we can go over whichever one.
Yeah, so there's several of them. There's one, or I'll just, cause since we're close on time, I'll just talk about both of them. They're right next to each other. So one theory with dragon is that
which one?
We can go to that one, the second one. Yeah.
Second one?
Yeah. So the theory is basically that dragon could potentially have been either a celestial dragon himself, or married a celestial dragon, or he was a admiral, marine at one point.
Yeah.
So the reason why people may believe these things about him is because
that's a different theory.
It's that one. It's that one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, it's not. Oh, that wasn't the picture.
Yeah, it's that picture. There you go.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it. Yeah. So the idea behind it is, well, one, he's Garp's son. So Garp, he was so adamant about Luffy being a marine. Why wouldn't he have that same kind of ambition for his own son, right? And then secondly, what is Dragon's motivations for starting a whole revolutionary army to take down the world government? Clearly he knows something. Clearly he knows information that's privy to just him, and maybe potentially the closest people in his life, or the closest people within his captains of his revolutionary army, but we, the audience, do not know. It's possible that he either married a celestial dragon, or was involved with the celestial dragon, found out a bunch of secrets through celestial dragons, and also this could have all been while either he was a marine admiral, or just in general found out about the celestial dragons, found out the truth, found out everything, and was completely revolted by it, against it, and that's why he started his own organization in order to take them all down. It also is possible, because there's also stems to multiple things. The reason why he's so against the celestial dragons, because you notice, is most likely the case that he don't want to get rid of the Marines is just simply the celestial dragons. Like that's most likely his end game goal, and that could be motivated because the world government could have either done something to someone he cared about that was a celestial dragon, potentially Luffy's mother or whatever, and that gave him all the motivation to take them down. But that's where that's coming from, and he defected from the Marines as an admiral. Potentially, I mean, he's the world's most wanted man. Yeah. He's probably going to be super strong when we see him, maybe. So what do y'all think?
I think that is another one that actually just makes sense, like for him as a character, just because like if he
Makes
wasn't,
sense, but it's just, you know what? Well, the way I'm making these theories, it's based off of how plausible they are and how much evidence. You know what I mean? And I think this is one of those theories that's definitely plausible, but you know,
there's not too much
there's
evidence.
nothing concrete. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
To back
I'm
it
with
up
you. I'm with you,
as
bro.
that.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'd probably say, yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's a great story. It's a great suggestion as to like what it could be, but there's just nothing foundationally solid to
yeah, it's not like concrete for it.
Well,
yeah.
so I know that right now there's 4 admirals, right? We got Kizaru, or Akainu is no longer
There's
admiral.
three admirals and one
Three?
free admiral. Just like
Okay.
just like before. It's like before.
Well, because I know there was a theory before saying like each like there was an admiral for like north, south, east, and west, and like each admiral had a representation like a fruit, not a fruit, an animal. So Aokiji is like the bird or some shit. Aokinu is another animal. Same thing with Kizaru, and then there was a
The
fourth one.
dog, I
Yeah,
couldn't know the
Aokinu is a dog.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there was a fourth one. They're saying that was Dragon, and he has a similar power to the other, like with elemental power to the other 3.
Mhm.
But I don't know about the
Which
celestial dragon thing.
which also, by the way, we should also tie in his devil fruit. That is the another theory that basically what is Dragon's devil fruit? A lot of people believe that it's like a wind Logia devil fruit or some type of like weather changing devil fruit, which you know,
Physical.
yeah. So you
Sick.
could also rank that one too.
Yeah, but first, so Slush Dragon one, Callie, where would you put it?
Maybe B.
I think I agree.
Maybe low A, but I'd probably do like B to be honest.
I agree with you. But what
Okay.
about you guys?
Yeah, I think the same.
Okay, cool.
All right.
All right. So there's definitely 2 I want to get to. Callie, it is okay. Third column, but on the second row. So under Fujitora, yeah, that's this one right there, the red line. So this is the first theory on the list, and this is like probably the biggest mega theory I feel like, and I just want it because I don't.
Yeah,
have
I've definitely heard of this one before. Yeah,
This one is obviously legendary. The red line will be destroyed theory, and this theory, it's huge. I wish I had more points, but what I have now is that. So the first thing we have is that Fisherman Island, which is right under the red line, is that there was a prophecy from Charla, I think her name is, that it will be destroyed by Luffy specifically. Okay, and this destruction would result in a lot of things. The red line for a lot of people represents like some sort of barrier, and it's like it's literally a divide in the world, and it's where the Mirage is, right? So what would happen if he destroyed it, seemingly maybe using ancient weapons, is that Fisherman Island would end up being destroyed just like in the prophecy, which is why the Noah exists, the big Noah's Ark in Fisherman Island that the Neptunians, the Sea Kings really believe in, and has something to do with Joy Boy's prophecy or Joy Boy's apology or whatever, or his plan for that has to be important. So that could be something that is used to get them out of there when the island is being destroyed. Next up, what would happen is that the 4 seas being divided would all come into one, and it would create a spot where they all meet, which would be the legendary all blue that Sanji talked about, which would result in all the fish in the sea being in one spot. So that's one another thing. Now, it would obviously destroy Marisha. I don't have to talk about why that's important. You know, it's defeating the enemy in the end, and it's in a sense you can think of it as bringing the gods down to our level, right? If you look at Laboon, we have a backbone for what Laboon is doing. How he's banging his head against the red line to find Brooks's crew, but it's not just Laboon. On the other side of the red line, not like on the other side, like literally the other half of the globe. This red line on the Marijua side, not the reverse mountain side, the other side. That one, when Luffy and them go under and over it, that when they come up in front of Punk Hazard, a bunch of whales greet them. They're all coming up with them, and all the whales have the scars on their head, banging into the red line. So it's not just Laboon trying to destroy the red line in terms of the whales, and we know the whales are an important being because when the Sea Kings were talking about their sovereigns in the Odin flashback, they mentioned how the whales are like happy with and singing with pride or something like that. They're super happy about the birth of the upcoming sovereign, something like that. So whales are super important. They want to destroy their line as well. Lastly, the red line is hinted to be very hard to destroy or damage. When they were on Little Garden, if you guys remember how they got out of Little Garden, they had to just sail out, but they couldn't just sail out because there was a big ass fish monster, and it jumps up out of the water and swallows the Strawhat ship. And Dory and Broggy, remember the attack that Big Mom and Kaido did that Zoro blocked? They did the exact same pose together, and they swing their club and they destroy the fish, and that's how they get away. But when they're doing that, when they're charging up, they say something about how the only thing the giants' weapons cannot destroy is the blood-soaked serpent wrapping around the earth, and that's obviously a reference to the world serpent. Oh yeah, obviously the red line. But if you think about Norse mythology, the world serpent and stuff like that going around the world, that's a depiction of the red line. How it's very hard to destroy it. So I feel like that's setting up how it's gonna be this monumental thing that even giants couldn't do if they wanted to. So
Did they
that's
say that
theory.
specifically? Blood-soaked serpent.
They said blood-soaked serpent. That is the thing I'm sure about.
Oh shit!
Yeah, they did say that.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, so this is a theory about the potential end game of One Piece. I feel like I'm missing a big part, but that's what I found and remembered.
You covered like majority of the solid points and stuff. If there's anything, it's like the finer details about how the world map is and stuff, so that people can visually understand it and stuff like that. And there's a couple of things here and there, like if you look at the red line and you notice how it crosses with like the grand line and and everything else. If you look at the map, it kind of resembles like an X. And X marks the spot is like the treasure commonly used in pirates to locate the treasure, and that could be like the One Piece itself. So that's like
directly where Marie-Joie is. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think that theory?
Definitely, that's an S tier for me.
I agree.
I definitely think this is one of the better theories for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think S tier
makes sense. Yeah,
this
S
is like
tier for me.
Cool. And then the next one I wanted to do, I think.
Should we go ahead and rank Dragon's Devil Fruit theory? It's like the second one.
Yeah, it's like so basically there's a few theories, right? It's that he has a wind logia, it's that he has
a weather devil fruit.
A weather devil fruit. I think Mr. You mentioned the Quetzalcoatl, right? That but I think to me the one that I really like that I have here, if that's okay, is that it's his devil fruit is actually the mythical Zoan model Thunderbird, which is like this big ass bird in Native American mythology. And if you look at Dragon himself, his pattern, the tattoo, is apparently Native American in design. And if you just look at how he appears, his tan skin and his long black hair, very reminiscent of Native Americans. And so when anywhere he is around, the winds and storm always pop up, right? In Loketown when he saved Luffy. And there's really, I feel like this is a very, like, there's only a few points, but that's why I feel like people think he has a tie to Native Americanism, and that's why they think he has the model Thunderbird, which is a big piece of their mythology.
Yeah, definitely.
What exactly is a Thunderbird?
It's this big ass. I really don't know. There's no other way to put it, bro.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like, okay. So in Native American culture, there are several like spirits and gods and stuff that they worship, and the Thunderbird is one of them. And the Thunderbird, I believe, it's like a very common, like a totem. Yeah, it's a very common totem among Native Americans. As such, it's one that they believe that I believe the totem represents like tranquility and tranquility, change, and something else. Just I forgot.
Big thing about the Thunderbird too is that it's known to impact the weather.
Yeah.
So the weather changes when the Thunderbird
that's what I was looking for. Like, what does the Thunderbird, do stuff with rain and thunder?
Okay, the weather in like Native American, I don't want to say lore, but yeah.
Lore.
I didn't want to laugh.
I would just say mythos.
Yeah, mythos. It's
I'm crying, bro. We some weebs.
We are. But yeah, like the weather changes, the sky like opens up and there's thunder. Yeah.
Word. All right, I fuck with that. I can fuck with that.
You gotta be fucked up on that one. But I think that's a good thing. I think it's like a B, like a low B.
I give it low A.
Yeah, I say BA. I don't really.
Yeah, it's like a suggestion,
Yeah.
No, this is not. I wouldn't say. What would you say is evidence?
The only evidence we have of that is when
because it could be a ton of things. It could just be a wind fruit.
Yeah. I think the thing about evidence is that it ties it to the one theory. You know what I'm saying? If the evidence could be used to support multiple different theories, then it can't really be evidence for that one theory. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that could definitely be for and a whole bunch of any other fruits.
The only thing I could see that have evidence for is when Dragon showed up to save Luffy and the whole that was
lightning. There was lightning and stuff, but like,
well,
I just think it could be any type of devil that has that shit, right?
Right, but there was also some people pointed out too, when Dragon and the revolutionaries went to go to Luffy's village in Goa Kingdom, and after they saved Sabo, or someone will say after they saved Sabo, Dragon, the way he landed on his ship, there was like a lot of wind surrounding him.
Interesting.
So and the sky was clear. Also, just letting that throw that out there. But yes.
Yeah, like those could point to some sort of wind fruit, or like, you know what I'm saying, like it could be anything. So I do think it's a good theory, especially the Native American had the pattern tattoos and stuff like that. I do definitely think he has like Native American motif, like in his how he looks. But I don't think it's enough to say he definitely has it. So I would put it in a B. It's a good theory, I think.
Yeah, it's a solid one. I say
I do want to move on. I think there's like way more important ones.
Yeah.
So I think another big one I'll say we could do. Okay, no, we already talked about it on the podcast. So, Callie, the bottom left, it's a picture of Roger holding Hiyori and Rayleigh holding Momo, right? So that theory, I think, is, let me find it on the document. I think it's, where the hell did I put this shit? Oh yeah, it's in the middle. It's above Kuina dying. So this theory has to do with what's the motherfucker's name? Ross D. Zebek, okay? And so once they finish on God Valley, basically, there's a few people who have connections to Zebek in some sense, or it feels like it. The number one person who could be everyone thinks like could have been his child or something like that is Blackbeard. Blackbeard is obviously the antagonist right now, and he wants to control the world the same way what's his name did, Zebek, and he basically has that. He's playing his role in this era, right? The next connection between Blackbeard and Zebek is that Blackbeard's ship is actually named the Saber of Zebek.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It is
Kind of crazy. Holy shit.
But it's funny because this is just like a side thing, and this is like one of the two possibilities. I actually think the real juice is that it's actually Shanks. So if you look at Shanks in his time in the Roger Pirates, he's like 12 or 13 or something like that. And when we know him, I don't know how old he is, but basically it corresponds to him having been a child on God Valley, right? And if he was really Zebek's child, who was, obviously Zebek died or whatever on God's Valley, and there's suddenly a kid that needs some sort of, to be taken care of, and Roger decides to take care of him, Shanks would fit the age gap, is what I'm trying to say. And if you look at the picture that I put in the document, is them holding up Momonosuke once Hiyori is born, so they're holding up the kids, and Rayleigh says, reminds me of the old days. Bro, what does that mean? Was there a baby on the ship? That's the only thing I can think of,
First
right?
time with a baby in ages reminds me of the old. That's kind of crazy,
right? Like, why would you say that shit,
crazy.
right? So, and it would be old days. It would be like 10 years ago because he would have been Shanks would have been a kid, right, or a little baby. So, and the most important thing I think is that when Whitebeard meets Shanks before Marineford, he looks at Shanks and says, "Your face makes the scars I got from him ache." Like the scars I got from this guy hurt when I look at your face. He doesn't mean Roger. Yeah, Whitebeard said that to Shanks. That he doesn't mean Roger, right? Because Shanks is not Roger's kid or anything like that. He doesn't look like him. And like we know that Whitebeard was on Rox's crew, and they were a fucked up crew, right? They were killing each other and shit. So it wouldn't make sense if he's talking about Zebek there, and that Shanks reminds him of Zebek in some sense. So I think that's the idea behind this theory, that Shanks is Zebek's child or Blackbeard. I think Shanks is the more.
See, so wait. Whitebeard says when he sees Shanks, your face makes my wound.
The scars I got from that guy ache.
From that guy?
Whitebeard said that. Christ. Yeah, he didn't say a name or anything. He just says that guy. Or that person.
What the hell, bro?
You could interpret it as Roger in the sense that because Shanks was on Roger's crew.
I feel like there was a reason why that I didn't. I feel like there's a reason why I was sure that he didn't mean Roger. But that is the possibility.
Well, it wasn't. Yeah, well, I don't think at that point, at that time when Whitebeard said that, it was confirmed that Shanks was already. It was already confirmed that Shanks was on Roger's crew. I don't think. I think it was. It was only confirmed with Rayleigh.
Whitebeard would know that they fought before. So
I'm saying for the audience, like for us to assume that it ain't Roger, like just to immediately assume that it's not him, we would have to be like, oh yeah, well we already know that we already know that Shanks was on Roger's crew, so why would he say that guy, right? But the fact that remains is we didn't know till after, Rayleigh, when Rayleigh said that, Shanks was on my crew, Buggy, etc., saying all that. So it's possible to interpret that as Gold Roger at the time.
I also think that means like the way he says it is like I found it is like the scars I got from that guy aches whenever I look at your face, and I feel like that is supposed to have a negative connotation. Is that like, man, I fucking hate that nigga, and every time I see you, it reminds me of him, right?
Yeah.
And Roger and Whitebeard definitely are homies. Like Rayleigh cried when Whitebeard died, right? So like I don't think he would think badly of him when seeing Shanks. You know what I'm saying?
I actually agree with that. I like that thought process.
So I do think he's talking about Zebek, and it would all line up. And another reason this would line up is because some people think that God's Valley had celestial dragons there, right? That's why they're protecting. That's why the Marines were there protecting the celestial dragons and their slaves. So some people think that Shanks is a result of Zebek having such a dragon for like a lover or whatever, and that's why Shanks has the credentials to meet with the Gorosei. Is that he has celestial dragon blood?
It's interesting. I actually like this one.
That's really cool.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah,
I think it's a good theory.
like this
Where
one.
would you guys put it?
I would say S. S-A.
I say A. Yeah,
I think it's
I think
A.
top A in my opinion.
Yeah, I like top A. I like the Queen of Theory a little bit more though. That Queen of Theory was kind of ridiculous, but I'll put it up there for sure. Do you guys want to try and just get through 2 or 3 more maybe? Because
I'm trying to pick the big ones.
Yeah, let's try and get like 2 or 3 more and then.
We talked about Law being part of Sword. I feel like unless you guys want to go over that again.
Oh yeah, I feel like we talked about that on the show a few times already.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the next one is the only really big one I have left. I think. Let me just go over it real quick. Okay. Oh no, there's 2. Okay, I know the 2 we're gonna talk about. If Shaw, my ideas is that it's the Kizaru Vegapunk one that we were talking about yesterday.
Oh yeah,
and the raid will fail. We should end it with that. I feel like it's a good thing to talk about. Unless you guys don't want. Unless you guys are tired of the raid, that's cool too.
No.
That's fine.
Because it's the biggest one right now. Everyone's talking about, right?
Yeah, we could do that. That sounds
okay.
Good.
Cool. So let's go into the Kizaru Vegapunk one. You can see it on it's the last one. It's the bottom right.
Oh yeah.
The picture they show of Vegapunk. I'm trying to find out the document.
I got it. It's like in the middle.
Cool. 6. Okay. So this is a video by my man Best Generation, my favorite One Piece YouTuber, and he made it's honestly a video I believe. If you watch it, it literally just spoils some parts of One Piece for you, and I think this it's just such a crazy connection that he makes. So,
wait, so you think it like legitimately like it's
bro, everything he says is facts, bro. I'm not even capping, bro. But this actually like it's funny because he's actually talking about huge things. This is a side thing. I don't want to spend too much time on it. But huge video. Yeah. I will link it to you guys. I think you guys should all watch it. But it will actually spoil stuff. I think. Anyway, so this part is him saying Vegapunk and Kizaru are like brothers in his opinion. That's what he said. And that's actually a smaller part of his whole video, which is crazy. But anyway, let me go to talk about why he thinks this specifically. So, Vegapunk and Kizaru, like I talked about in the Blackbeard original theory, how we know that devil fruits and DNA, there's something there. Vegapunk was working on DNA, all the mad scientists were too, and that's what they came out of. That's like their big thing when they came out of that group was DNA and lineage factor. So, devil fruits and lineage factor, huge points. Vegapunk somehow had the ability to. He was the one who found out how to put devil fruits in objects, like how to, the sword with the elephant, the slime from Punk Hazard. He found out how to do that. But another thing he found out how to do was to put the Kizaru laser, just the ability to shoot lasers within the pacifists and Kuma. So it's not even like he was giving them the ability of the devil fruit or the actual devil fruit itself. He was giving them part of its ability. So he somehow extracted Kizaru's ability from within his devil fruit and applied it to things that don't have the devil fruit itself, which is not like just giving something a devil fruit. So we know, though, that's something he just did. That's like a crazy thing. We don't know how he did that. But one thing we do know is that he was able to do it for a very long time. When Frankie visited his home country that Vegapunk hadn't been to in a long, long time, after the time skip, Frankie was able to shoot the same lasers. So Vegapunk had that idea and the human... And when you look at it as well, Frankie said, when he's looking at his blueprints in the time skip, he said, whoa, this guy was researching human cells so long ago. This guy was ahead of his time, as we all know. But... specifically that he was there all those years ago, but still had the technology there and the framework for Frankie to go and put the lasers in his own ability. That means that it's something Vegapunk had for a while. So that means he must have known Kizaru, and Kizaru has had that ability for a long ass time, and he knew him from a minute ago. And the another thing that he points to is that when they show Kizaru as a kid or whatever, he's in like a snowy area. He's like writing on a board or something. He has like a lamp on the thing. So they show him as a kid, but it's in like an SBS something like that. It's not like a big thing. But his point was that you can see that he Oda has ideas for how Vegapunk, how Kizaru was as a child. So there's obviously a connection there, but Vegapunk hadn't been on that island in like decades of years, right? So somehow he knew him back then, and the idea is that he's his brother. I don't think that's the case. Maybe he's like he knew him somehow. It could be his brother or some shit, but the theory points that he knew him from back in the day. That's the one part of the theory I want to talk about.
It's interesting. I like the laser connection. It's actually pretty cool.
I feel like there's way more, but yeah, I didn't even think about that. So I feel like I've known for a long time.
Yeah, we definitely know they have the connection because he turned him into the robot or whatever, So, and because I think something that you didn't mention that probably also supports this was that Vegapunk, before he fully turned him into a robot, he made a deal with him to let him protect the Sunny for a year or whatever.
I think the theory is talking more about the connection between Vegapunk and Kizaru, though, the admiral, right?
I got completely mixed.
No, it's all good, bro.
Because I see Kuma in here. That's literally
because it's literally the only picture of Vegapunk, bro.
I'm fucking crying, bro.
I couldn't think of a better one.
This whole time I was thinking Kuma, bro. I got mixed completely.
No, my fault.
Holy shit. I don't even know why I didn't think Kizaru when I heard Kizaru.
But yeah, no, it's because he put his laser in Kuma. That was the big thing, right?
Yeah.
Something he was able to do for a while. So this guy thinks that he knows him for a minute, and it might have been his brother. I mean, we could go with that since it's a thesis. What do you guys think of that idea?
I think that's sick, honestly. I feel like it's that theory probably needs. I had to watch the full video to like understand it all. But I feel like there's a lot of like solid evidence to that.
Yeah, like, I think that's like either an A or an S to me. I
just feel like it's just like he's just spitting, like he knew him from that long ago. Yeah, he just had to, like, because he had the stuff in his lab, right?
Yeah, and the fact that he came in, Sabo the Kizaru came into Sabo on a freaking cannonball, freaking talking to Setomaru, and Setomaru. I think Setomaru did he mentioned something about Vegapunk designing.
Setomaru is in charge of the pacifistas, and he knows Vegapunk created them.
Yeah. Right, and
he has a connection to both. He calls Vegapunk he calls Kizaru his uncle, Setomaru, that is.
Right, yeah, exactly. So it could be possible that the fact that Setomaru works so close with Vegapunk and he calls Kizaru his uncle could be good. Yeah, like
I like that a lot. It's pretty interesting.
What if he's actually Vegapunk's son?
Maybe. Well, his name is Setomaru. I feel like he's from Wano or some shit. Anyway, I don't want to go too much into that. What do you guys think? I think it's an S, honestly.
I think it's like S-ish, A, top tier A, like top A, S, low S.
D3?
Top A.
Top A?
I say top A, yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I honestly think it's higher than the Kuina one. Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, and I guess lastly, we can finish off with the raid will fail. And it's the
Mr. With the one with Luffy falling.
No, it's Mr. Moore's special, but we can use that if you want, since it's like we're not going further than this. But so basically, this theory is created obviously by Mr. Morge, the YouTuber. I'll talk a little bit about it. It's on page 3, Callie. So his idea. Okay, the first thing I think we need to define is that what he feels is the raid failing, and I think more so it's just that Luffy will lose another time. Yes, even with Gear 5. And that things will just go badly. There will be another low point to the arc, where everything looks very dire. So, is there more to that, Strawhat? Do you think? Is there more to the idea of it failing? Is there more of a condition?
Well, there's a couple of things. So, we still have some connections to Wano that have still not been fulfilled. Let's say hypothetically, if the war ended here with this next scene, or just in general with Luffy coming out on top, like within the next 1 or 2 chapters, there's a lot of unresolved plot points that we still have not gotten that still needs exploration for character development. Because it's one thing where if it's after the fact and we still get some more exploration, that's fine. But there's some critical things that have not been fully addressed yet that still should be addressed in Morge's opinion. Like, for example, one of the biggest things is that Zoro said that he will lead the samurai back in Zou. In Zou, when Luffy and the others left for Whole Cake Island, Zoro was like, "Don't worry, Luffy, I'm gonna rally up the samurai and stuff." But when we get to Wano, Zoro has kind of taken a back seat to that. He has not fulfilled that. He has not led the samurai. And he said to Hiyori that he's not taking lead because there are too many people. Basically, you could say this is like a subliminal for like people with conquerors hockey or not, but too many like ego like driven head honchos are spearheading this, and for him, he feels like everything will fail if there's too many people at the helm that have basically a conqueror spirit leading this thing. What happened in Odin's flashback? Whitebeard, talked about, you don't seem like the kind of person that would take orders, referring to, again, people with too much spirit, joining another with spirits. And know more about that than someone like Whitebeard, who literally was a part of a legendary crew with Big Mom, Kaido, himself, Rocks, Shiki, a bunch of people who are ego driven and have a bunch of spirit and stuff. On top of that, Kaido, when he knocked out Luffy, said, there's not enough room for too many. There's not enough room for this many conquerors and stuff like that. Because again, he's someone with experience that knows because he was a part of the Rock's crew. Yeah, so Zoro has not fulfilled this this need to be a leader, which is something that Morge feel like is completely unresolved, and it should not, and it obviously won't be resolved if Kaido is taken out here. Because what's the point of leading a samurai if the main villain is gone? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and another thing about Zoro is that there's still the Shimosuke connection that we still have yet to fully explore, right? We had the idea that he looks like Ryuma and they're two peas in a pod or some shit like that. But so the guy in the cave with Yamato, who everyone thought was his dad, Oda confirmed that it wasn't in SBS recently. He said it's just not his dad, right? So there's still more to the Shimosuke, I think, connection in Wano within itself that has to be dealt with. Speaking of Luffy and Kaido specifically, this fight right now, Morge points to, we talked about this earlier, so we don't have to go too much into it, but that there's still the awakening left, there's the flashback left, there's still too much, so that there's still the point where Kaido has to have his last hurrah, his last, all right, you know what? This is it. Fuck it. I'm not going out like this, And Luffy still has something to overcome. Basically, we're going to have a little bit more of this fight specifically left. There's also when Hawkins was fighting Luffy and Zoro, Hawkins' prediction for Luffy's timeline, how much he would survive, was I think a month or two. He's like, let me see the chance of you being alive in a month or two. So that's something Morge points to. I don't know how solid that is, but I think the real thing is that there's just too many plot lines left. Like Shaw mentioned, the Zoro Conqueror thing, the Shimotsuki connection. There's still the Big Mom pirates left in Wano. It could be something that they just get Big Mom and leave, but who knows? It could be more than that.
Poneglyph, the dolls.
We don't know the road Poneglyph. The Marines are still there. The Kokeshi dolls. And the reason that these dolls are important that Brook found under the castle is that Tenguyama Hitetsu, the guy who's with Otoko, the guy that made the Sandai and the Nidai Kitetsu, that guy with the wings and the mask, he creates Kokeshi dolls. So for them to be underneath the castle, something he creates. And when Brook mentioned those dolls that he found, he's like, because ever someone asked him, was like, yo, did you find the road Poneglyph under the castle? Brook's like, no, but I found some Kokeshi dolls. And Shinobu, the female ninja, she's like, Kokeshi dolls. She's like, well, that's interesting. So her reaction has yet to be explained. So that's an interesting thing there. And lastly, I think one of the things I think people don't really talk about too much is that from Dressrosa, the revolutionaries have been on the tracking this weapon production. They mentioned how, the Dressrosa was not creating weapons; they were creating Smile. But Dressrosa was the port for which these weapons were being distributed, which we know now is the Kaido Joker connection, right? So that's how their business operation was going. So the revolutionaries knowing about Wano and trying to find out where the weapons are coming from, that's another plotline that might indicate, some sort of intervention there, right? That they might pull up or someone from there or whatever. So there's just a lot left in Wano. Maybe we're missing some things that Morge brought up, but yeah, that's really it to him. And so he thinks either Luffy's going to lose here, and then we might be in Wano even longer, maybe 10, 20 plus chapters into the actual defeating Kaido. But right now, I think he settled more for just that Kaido will not lose in the next few chapters, and that there'll be a flashback, there'll be the awakening, and then Kaido might lose later in like 5-10 chapters. That might be the more moderate theory or arguments.
I think there's also one last thing. It's not the final point as to this, but I think it's also kind of a big one that I think I should mention. So early in Wano, Wano is kind of the way it's been pacing. It's been pacing similar to the old Japanese style plays. And the next act in those plays, because I think we're still on what, act three?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
5 acts.
Yeah, more just big points that act 3 is not the time where the biggest tragedy happens. It's act 4. Act 4 is supposed to be when something tragic. Sorry. Act 3 is when
the end of Act 3.
yeah. Sorry, the end of
Something
Act 3 is
tragic,
when
yeah.
something tragic happens,
Mhm.
and Act 4 is like the turnaround.
Yeah.
So if we're still here with Luffy about to, beat Kaido and stuff like that, how did anything? What tragic happened? And I think we all agree that even though sure Luffy and them have been struggling still, nothing crazy has happened to the point that made anyone sad or just like, something very, very tragic happening in the Wano. The closest thing we got to that is when we saw Kaido, kill the CP0 agent and potentially have killed Luffy, and I was like, yeah. So
It wasn't even that tragic.
yeah, that wasn't even that tragic. So
Yeah.
that's another big point. But yeah,
lack of tension and real down moments.
I know.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before in early episodes, right? I know Callie's brought it
Mm.
up. About the play and the fact that we're still on Act 3. So I mean, there's some credence to that. If it is going off of Japanese plays and stuff. So
This is probably the most 50-50 I've ever been on Theory.
Yeah, same.
I agree.
I feel like
Honestly.
you can honestly make really plausible points for both
Facts.
sides.
Facts.
I honestly and truly don't know which side it's going on.
Okay, but let's.
The theory itself is definitely plausible, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, he brings up a lot of points. I think the important thing because I think the really important thing is what constitutes the rate failing. Like what exactly? I feel like he's not being specific with that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's a lot of room to work with.
He said that. Well, here's the thing. He believed at one point. I don't know if it's still the same now, but the Marines are there, right?
Yeah.
So if Kaido wins against Luffy again, and everybody, because he feels like maybe the not Big Mom, but maybe Kaido's army will awaken because most of them are zone users. The top guys from Kaido's army, like the Tobiropo, Calamities, and stuff, they'll awaken, and awaken zone users constantly get back up, like we saw in Impel Down with those awakened zones, that they constantly got back up no matter how many times they got knocked down, but their personalities became more animal-like. So the Tobiropo and Calamities will become more animal-like and keep getting back up, and then the Marines will scoop in and also like battle them, which will give Luffy and his crew some downtime or whatever. But also there's some unresolved things with that, because he also believes that the story has played on heavy about Usopp betraying people, because in Zou, because back in Zou when everyone protected Raizo and stuff, and everyone said like, yeah, Raizo's here, we protected him and stuff. Usopp was dumbfounded because he said, I don't understand how y'all did this. Like, why would y'all go through so much lengths? Because people's legs were cut off, like vipers and stuff like that, and they went through so much turmoil by being truly loyal to Raizo. And then on top of that, earlier in Wano, not Luffy, but Usopp told Nami it's okay to lie, to get out of situations, to do whatever you can to stay alive. That's what's been most played on with Usopp. Plus, Usopp, on top of that, still has not had his resolution yet, which he believes is this, that he will get captured and he will be tortured for information, because he said, I believe when Law was accused of either him being the bad guy
His
for
crew
the
was
alliance, his
snitching
crew,
on him.
the snitch, So his crew was accused for snitching or whatever, and Law was offended by it. Usopp was talking about, like, he said that couldn't be me, because I swear if that was me, I would have been snitched. Like, da 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 da. So that to Morge believes that he thinks that Oda is basically foreshadowing what the trial and tribulations that Usopp is going to go through later on this arc, which is he will get captured and tortured for information, and he will have to show his bravery and not be afraid of dying by the hands of torture and stuff like that, by not selling out his crew. So that's one thing.
Was Was that with the raid failing? I feel like
I think it's pointing to how
that's a part of why the race failed, because several characters have not gotten their battles, quote unquote, and their resolutions from said battles. Usopp and what I just explained is what Morge believes Usopp can go through. Brook still hasn't had a sufficient thing. Chopper kinda hasn't. Morge pointed out, yeah, sure, he did cure the Onis and stuff like that, but that wasn't really like a solid conclusion for Chopper. You know what I mean? So that I said, what I just told you is just simply the Usopp, how he feels like Usopp's thing would be played out in Wano because of what the play-ons of what Usopp has been dealing with since Zoe.
Yeah, there's a lot left for a lot of people, is what more just saying. So
yeah,
I think we can from there. What do you guys think? Is there more left to Wano, or is Kaido going down right now?
The more I think about it, the more points I kind of lean more towards the idea of Wano continuing to go for a while. Because y'all are right, there's a lot that still needs to be answered and figured out.
For real.
My thing with that point of the theory that there's still a lot of unresolved plot points is that could be resolved in post. Literally, almost everything that was listed could be resolved. If Luffy's punch right now just beats Kaido and the island is saved right now, they'd have their party and literally every plot point gets gets resolved in the aftermath.
Well, not the one. Well, like I said earlier, not the one with Zoro, because he said he will rally the samurai, and ever since Wano started, that's been completely on the back burner, and we have not seen the point of him rallying the samurai. And if Kaido dies or loses here, why would the samurai need to rally behind Zoro? Plus, on top of that, Kaido said that there will never be another samurai like Odin. He still got slashed by Zoro, and he did not recognize him still as a samurai that's worthy of Odin's name. Yeah, he just said, "Be happy the fact that you scarred me," and just moved on. So Zoro still has to kind of prove that he is a samurai similar to Odin, some type of caliber.
To that, I will say, I feel like the idea that he wanted to rally the samurai, I feel like, although it could have just been a line he said, you know what I'm saying, that more just taking a bit too deep. And also, I think that moment you mentioned where he was telling Yor that too many captains sink the ship, I think he said that might have been him. That might have been him relinquishing that ideal of having to be that number one guy for a moment, for a battle or whatever, and they already kind of do rally behind him. How much they were supporting his battle versus King. They said no one, Hyogoro was don't let anyone interfere between Sanji and Zoro's fights, we need these niggas, blah blah blah. So I feel like that could go either way, in my opinion. I that's the one thing I'm not the biggest fan of, the Zoro part.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like
I think Zoro did his thing in this arc. He did his fucking thing. He was in the Kaido fight. He beat King. I feel like he did enough, and he's down for the fucking count. This nigga is about to die. I don't think there's much he can do that I will feel like, oh wow, Zoro got up from that. That makes a lot of sense, and it's gonna continue to fight. Nah, I don't really buy that. Is what I'm trying to say.
I
do agree with Callie though that it could be a lot of stuff could be figured out later on though too.
Yeah,
but I do think more
a lot of stuff could. Don't get me wrong. I'm not swinging either way, or I'm just providing a devil's advocate argument. 100%. You know what I mean?
It's appreciated for sure.
So where do you guys have it on the list then?
I don't know. Callie's making a new tier. I'm kind of interested in what he's about to say.
Is this?
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that.
I agree.
I'm a big fan of that. I think that's the only way to put it, bro.
I agree. We just gotta see what's up, bro. I don't think we can. It's too much in both ways, bro. To figure it out, bro.
Yeah, either Morge is at the end of this, Morge will just be the GOAT, or niggas gonna lose a little bit of credibility for some people.
So this theory alone is an episode worthy for the podcast. So it's 100%. Kind of a lot to go over in a couple minutes.
We could someday go into the weeds of this theory and assuming that it doesn't end with this chapter, because I swear Kaido goes down for the count. This next chapter,
it's over for this thing of Morge, bro. they're gonna have his head on a pike, fam.
He's been advocating for it crazy, right?
Yeah, no, it's his whole brand, bro.
Yeah.
I think Strawhat brought it up. This guy, Grand Line Review, made a whole video on his second channel about how much that theory propelled him a bit forward and how it became his flagship, right? And it's like every stream he does, the niggas get in the stream and say this stream will fail, like, or the audio will fail, or something.
Right.
There's like videos, there's like meme videos on YouTube of like every time Moore said the raid will fail, and it's just clipped to all hell of him saying the raid will fail, the raid will fail, the raid will fail, the raid will, like, the shit is crazy.
It's gotta be down. So yeah, that's that theory.
Yeah, I guess we just gotta wait and see, man.
Well, we will, man. We will. So I think that wraps it up for the theories, man. Appreciate you guys voting. It was super fun to make them. It was a fun time thinking about everything and putting it all together.
Yeah, no, it's definitely appreciated. Yeah,
that took a lot of work.
Yeah, it's definitely appreciated. Maybe another break we can definitely get through the rest of these. We definitely still got.
There's some scrub ones, honestly. The ones we did are some scrub ones, honestly. Like
just to fill out the. Yeah, I feel.
Yeah, we can do it another time. So yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, this is definitely mad. Yeah, it was definitely mad fun. This is definitely enjoyable. That does it for this week's episode, though, right?
Yes, sir.
Next week, episode 20.
Next week is episode 20. 20 episodes in, baby. We've been doing this shit for a minute.
Yes, we have.
We might have a few things lined up.
We got some special stuff lined up for you guys next week. So we need you guys to make sure you tune in on Twitch next week to make sure you guys are here for all the surprises that we have lined up for our 20th episode. Appreciate all you guys rocking with us. All right. That does it for this episode. Till next time, guys. Y'all take it easy. Be safe. Be healthy. We will see y'all when we see y'all. Take it easy, guys.
Later, guys.
Peace. Peace. All right, good shit, y'all. That was fun.